Fired up, footballers. Welcome back to another episode of Spitting Fire with the Spitting Fire brothers, coming at you as always. And James, I got 6 things to talk about, 6 topics here for you. We'll get right into it. Kind of an update episode. A lot going on with the Chicago Fire community.
I might have a 7. We'll see where it goes.
First thing is first, the Katai contract. So, woo! Yay! Big news. The Chicago Fire have picked up or signed Alexander Katai
at least till next
to
season.
2019 with a club job option for 2020. It was nice. They finagled the money to where he's not a DP this year, but next year if they pick it up, he would be. So it gives them some time to figure that out. But yeah, big news about Katai.
What that means is that they could potentially bring in a DP this year and then buy that DP down next year, and then Katai will ascend to DP status, and because you can only have a maximum of 3 DPs.
Yeah, but either way. Forget logistically, just speaking about Alexander Katai being at the club, great stuff, right?
Absolutely huge. I wonder, I'm a little confused about MLS rules, but I think there might be something called the under 21 or a young DP.
That's new.
So that's new. I don't know if you get to add a 4th DP in that way, but that's something we're going to have to comment below if you have any thoughts, if you have any knowledge about that.
Okay, but yeah, great news. Alexander Katai is going to be a Men in Red, part of the Men in Red going forward, and hey, probably one of the best players in the MLS right now, most dynamic.
Absolutely, and one of the best DP signings for the Fire.
For sure. Very productive. All right, number 2, 49%. We have 49% a new owner.
Woo!
New owner. Joe Mansueto. Mansueto purchased 49% of the club.
He's a billionaire. He owns the a financial company,
investment research firm
called Morningstar.
Yep.
He's a graduate from the University of Chicago. He has a big old library.
Chicago boy.
Not actually. He has a big new library there that he donated the money for. I think he donated something like 25 million. He also donated an additional 35 million for another maybe another institute thing in Chicago. And so, I mean, that's just $60 million that I know that he's invested in, just like some colleges in Chicago. He's investing money. He's got more money than Hauptman and his wife, Emily Brofman.
And he's a Chicago boy. Wants Chicago to do well. Invests in the city of Chicago.
Big soccer fan, I hear.
Yeah, big soccer fan. He's got to invest in this club, so it's a huge thing.
49%, though. I wonder if it's only a matter of time till he gets that extra 2%.
Yeah, maybe they're kind of weaning Hauptman out of it. He's going to be the vice chairman and the MLS board of governor rep. So he's going to represent the MLS for the governor's board. Those are the only 2 positions I saw that he's going to be. But there's more to come.
That's
he's going to be doing a lot more stuff.
I wonder if that makes Hauptman no longer on that.
So it kind of seems like he's going to be a little bit more involved with the Fire.
So the other questions was this a league mandate? Because the league is a single entity structure. The league is a single entity structure where the owners buy portions of the league, and they're all owners of MLS.
Yeah.
So did the league kind of make Hauptman?
I think it just makes sense.
It's
another person that with another pocketbook, a deep pocketbook, a local guy, knows the community, knows the Chicago fan base, knows the Chicago economy, knows all that stuff. I mean, I think it's a no-brainer.
Their combined wealth would equal at least $5 billion.
Think about his connections.
$5 billion. So that's going to compete with the people down in Atlanta, the people up in New York, the teams over in LA.
We'll see. Yeah,
we're finally going to have a batter with deep. But here's the thing about Hauptman. Yes, his wife was valued at $2.2 billion. $2 billion or something. I heard that he only had like 200, 300 million. I don't know if that's fact or anything, but I've read that. And that's something that might have been suggested that's why Hauptman was such a cheap owner, because he's not Mr. Moneybags. Wow, we finally got an owner that is almost Uncle Moneybags.
Let me ask you this, James. Do you think having another owner, vice chairman, someone more important than Nelson, Nelson's not the number 2 anymore, do you think this will potentially light a fire under Nelson Rodriguez to turn the Chicago Fire around?
I wonder if this excited Nelson Rodriguez, because he might feel like he's finally going to get some of the support that he is saying he's been getting, and he's been given the lip service that he's saying he's getting, but I don't believe he's been getting. And I wonder if this is exciting Nelson, that he's going to feel like, oh, maybe I am going to be able to finally do my job, and now I'm actually going to be able to hire a technical director to do the job that I am incapable of doing.
Yeah, you're right. It could be.
Maybe there's going to be more money pumped into the funds. The other thing about this Morningstar guy, Joe Mansueto, hard worker, like a down to earth as down to earth as you could be for a billionaire. I heard that he still works in his cubicle, just like his other employees.
I think the most important thing is he's a Chicago guy.
I think the Chicago guy is the most important thing. We don't have an owner who's lives over in California anymore.
Kind of like a rags to riches story. Built that company himself. I mean, he's a made man, a self-made man.
He's the face of a company. So I'm hoping that not to mention
he sold it in 2016, I believe.
I'm hoping that not only could he translate some of that face, that public face, and bring it to the Fire where Andrew Hauptman has not. Yeah. His public presence in the city of Chicago is nil. I wonder if this guy is going to show up a little bit more like Ricketts will,
a little bit more. What's his name again? Joe Mansueto.
Joe Mansueto.
So keep an eye out for that, ear out for that name, folks.
It's a big time move for the Chicago Fire, and I think it bodes well for this team going forward.
Okay, next on the list is a little playoff update. So the Chicago Fire currently are in 8th place. Bad run of form. So the last 5 games has been draw, win, loss.
And just lost to the 7th place team, putting them even further back.
So they've lost some points to Philly recently. So I've only written the spots from 5th on down. Mm-hmm. So New England is in 5th place with 28 points.
Catchable.
Montreal's in 6th place with 24 points.
Catchable.
Philadelphia is in 7th place with 24 points.
All those teams are kind of on par with the Fire,
so it's still there. Montreal has 20 games played. Philadelphia has 19 games played. Chicago coming in 8th. Jesus, with 20 matches played with 23 points, so they're 1 point behind. Orlando in 9th place.
Wow, the mighty have fallen.
They have fallen.
Did that line just run into a T-Rex?
Yeah. And
holy cow.
They're humming in the beginning of the year.
They went on like a terrible losing streak.
9th place with 19 points.
But they did just get the new coach from Louisville, who we play next week. They took the coach from Louisville. No, the Louisville coach went to Orlando, and the Orlando players have been responding. They say they love this guy. The reports are coming out of Orlando saying that wow, we didn't. They're happy playing soccer again, and
that might be the spark that they need. Toronto FC's still in 10th place with 16 points. DC United is in last place, 11th place, 11 points. Only played 14 matches, but anyways,
the pundits have been saying about TFC, about Toronto. They've been like waiting for Toronto to come along. Everybody, and all of a sudden, finally, people pulled the ripcord. They're saying they might not figure it out. Which would be great for the Fire.
James, let me ask you this. You have New England, Montreal, and Philadelphia all in front of the Chicago Fire, right?
All teams that I feel like the Chicago Fire can beat.
And then you have Orlando, Toronto, and D.C. underneath Chicago Fire. Probably all teams that should be below the Chicago Fire.
Orlando and TFC I feel like could be above.
Do you think the Chicago Fire are going to trickle into the playoffs?
At this moment, with the results, the inconsistency we've been seeing, no, they're going to just miss out, just like we've been seeing.
Yeah, they need up, down, up, down. So, I mean, it's just so inconsistent, like you said.
They need a few acquisitions in key spots, and I do think that could push them up. It's not going to send them to a trophy in MLS Cup, but it could bring a trophy in Open Cup, because there's only 3 games left that they got to beat. They got to beat Louisville. They got to beat either Orlando or Philly, whoever wins that match, and then they got to beat the winner of the West.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, no doubt. A couple of better players on this team. We just got a center back. I mean, you
3 games away from a trophy.
You wouldn't be drawing last place Colorado. You wouldn't be drawing last place Seattle. So there's points dropped right there. So it's crazy that the Fire are only
points dropped at home.
Only really 1 point out of the playoff spot. But I mean, there's at least 5, 6, 8 points that have been dropped this year that. Man, they could be sitting comfortably in that playoff spot right now.
Home has been a tent. And by that, I mean very easily penetrated because it's made out of fabric. It's got skeleton, but you could get poked and torn up, and the Home has not been the fortress that it needs to be. If they could fix that problem, that's going to be huge going forward for the playoff push.
Last thing, and then we'll move on to the next topic. Playoff team, yes or no? No. That's all I got to say. Playoff team, yes or no, Jeffrey? I'm going to say no.
We both said no. Oh, that hurts.
Let us know what you think. We'll see.
Do you guys think?
I guess that's contingent on a couple of extra signings. I mean, if they do pull in a couple of extra signings, I think it's an easy yes.
If they pull in a top-tier signing, it might change things.
Okay.
But they need more than just one signing.
Number 4, injury update. So we got Michael DeLiu and Georgi Mihailovic are both back at practice. It looks like they'll be back around August, so towards the end of the year. So they're both targeting August return date. McLean and Polster are both still out for the year. That leaves Luis Solignac and Grant Lillard, who are both still out with minor quad injuries. Both of those guys should be back, really any day now, so
Well,
they should be considered day to day.
So here's the deal on Georgie and MDL. It's going to be great to get them back, but really, you guys, we all have to understand what they're going to be able to offer coming back from such a severe injury, and it's not going to be
It's a good point.
100%. It's not going to be even 90% because they're coming back from severe ACL
And they
surgeries.
need game speed. They need to get up.
They need to get up to game speed on top of technicals and all sorts of things that they haven't been able to do for a long time. Or, but they've been coming along and they've been starting to do. So our expectations for MDL and Georgie, as high as they might be, I think for next season, I think for this season we have to hedge those and kind of just hope for them just to get healthy. We just want them to come back healthy and strong. Because I don't think that they're going to be super effective.
Yeah.
Yes, they're going to be able to score a goal. I think Georgie might be the Cam option in the future.
Well, I think basically what you're saying is when they come back, don't expect them to be,
world beaters.
Big contributors. Like, really all you're expecting from them is just to get their legs under them, get some minutes under their belt.
Before the end of the season.
Contribute more as role players, and hopefully that they still stay healthy the rest of the
If they could do more than that, tremendous. Because both of those players, both of them are capable of producing so much
that
more.
Midfield's going to get crowded.
But
you got Mo.
it's a trick of coming back from injury.
Georgie, and the midfield's crowded, so they're going to err on the caution of Georgie.
And look at the setback for Lucho that it's kept him out.
Yeah.
I mean, he came back from his injury. We thought he was back, and
Bolster's setback
he wasn't
too.
able, and he's not able to provide as much because coming back from injury is a lot of work.
Yeah, you're right.
So much things you got to get right.
Okay. Let's talk potential transfer.
Let's talk actual transfer.
So, transfer the Fire. Mev made one. Hey,
Nicolas Del Greco.
Nicolas Del Greco, 6'1" center back from Argentina, played lower level
He played for
Argentinian
third league Argentina league,
and then went to an Honduran team.
Olympia.
So
And,
not a highly touted guy. Not much out there on him really.
He was bought by Olympia, I think, in January, and I think now in July he's already been released from the team. And I don't know if it's because of his talent level. I don't know if he met expectations there. From some of the scout tape that I was able to see, and including his performance against New York Red Bull, he has moments, and they had him out there.
He was the captain of his old team, wasn't he?
He was the captain of third league Argentina team.
24 years old?
He's a 24-year-old, 6'1" center back right now. Some of his game tape I was seeing from 16-17, I hope he's a lot better because I thought that I've seen better from. And I saw better from Campbell, and that's from 16-17. That's not too long ago.
What's great is we brought in a center back,
but it's a warm body.
What stinks is this a first team option? Is this a sub? Is this cover? And it probably looks like the latter. So who knows? Who knows? But we need this guy to be a starter.
The other question is
a starter quality, but. There's just not much out there. We really don't know much about the guy, so we'll see. He's going to come in. Let's see how he does with the MLS.
Did they trial
I'm hoping
this
guy? I'm hoping that he's going to be an MLS starter.
Yeah, but that's the question. Did they trial this guy? Did they bring him in and see him play at all, or did they trust Football Manager's scouting and just say, okay, we'll bring him in on a?
I think they just want to get an Argentinian.
1-year contract with 2-year options.
True Barty just wanted that South American.
True Barty said, yeah, Nelson must be queuing in because the amount of Argentinians on playoff MLS teams is.
Argentinians, you can always grab the Argentinians. So yes, we finally got a center back. We'll see. First team option cover.
And Alexander Katai is signed and here for the next 2 seasons, which is huge.
I don't consider that a transfer this
window.
No,
should not be.
Don't count that, Nelson.
No.
Doesn't count.
Doesn't count.
The other window.
No, that was your work you should have had already done back in January. You don't get kudos.
That's David's spot.
Okay, kudos for executing the deal how you did, but past that, do better.
Fernando Torres rumors put to bed, went to Japan. So Fernando Torres is gone.
Thank goodness.
What are the other rumors out there? Guillermo Ochoa, that's more of just whispers, if anything.
I think he could come here. He could put in 6 years, and he's going to put in 6 better years than we're going to see from Sanchez.
Guillermo Ochoa would be amazing, but there's always the argument, can you spend that amount of money? Can you invest that amount of money
DP level?
A goalie?
A DP level goalie, or could you make him a TAM level Zlatan type contract?
So we'll see. Ochoa's been out there. Frankowski, looks like the Fire aren't really linked to him anymore.
They weren't. They still are. They still are. But especially with this new owner coming in, the new owner may be like, "Don't tell Andrew. Here's $2 million.
Yeah.
Here's $2
million.
Make
it happen. Any other rumors? Any other names out there?
The rumors. What? No, that's about it.
Yeah, that's really it.
I mean, especially because World Cup still is yet to close up. Once World Cup closes up, we're going to see a lot more movement, noise, things heating up.
But it's definitely a bummer that the name that they got is again, he could be a decent player, but you look on him and there's nothing on
It's
the
a
guy.
gamble. He doesn't even have a pro. His transfer market profile doesn't even have a dollar assignment named to us. Many players that are known at least will have like some amount of money attached to them, but this guy's so unknown that he has no money attached to him. So I mean, this is a true flyer, and it's a true definition of a flyer. It's a gamble.
Was he free? Was he a free signing?
I believe it's free because his team had released him. They
so we'll see.
Canceled
Hopefully
the contract.
This guy is what we need because we definitely need a strong first team center.
You know what? They must have really liked what they saw what he produced against New York Red Bull because there's not much real good tape after that.
And so that, I guess they brought in a center back. They need a fullback. They don't have a right back unless they go with Campos going forward.
Campos, Ramos, or
Drew Connor.
There's 3 right backs already on the team that they could play.
Ellis, who knows what Ellis is doing because he just was injured.
Ellis is out for a little bit.
And then fullback, they got Brandon Vincent Corrales. So you're
set over there.
I guess you don't really need to use another resource at fullback.
You're not set there, but you could definitely. I've said this also.
Richard,
you could improve there.
What do you think about Richard?
You need to improve there.
And
I could see an intra-league trade coming for a goalie if we don't get a Guillermo Ochoa.
Well, Nelson said in his presser a couple of months back that he wants an attacker. Hopefully that is not Katai. Hopefully Katai doesn't count. So he wants an attacker, defense, and a goalie. So defense has been checked off, so maybe there's a goalie guy coming, and hopefully there's another attacker going.
I would be much happier if he went and got an actual center back that's proven instead of this guy, this mystery flavor. What's that? Laffy Taffy.
Airhead? Go get Axel Soyberg. Axel Soyberg.
He's been struggling. He hasn't been playing.
So go get him.
That's a question. And that's my question about why this guy isn't playing. As soon as this new coach came in for Colorado, Axel Soyberg hasn't been playing.
Highly touted European player.
He was decently touted. Touted. He's a big boy, and I wonder if he has injury troubles because he's so tall. But that's just speculation.
Any last transfer things for you?
Blaszczykowski, Piszczek.
Poll. Get a poll
Frankowski. Bring in a poll. For me, I think we need to bring in a top. I was saying this: top of the line center back, a top of the line right back, and a top of the line goalkeeper, and then you could leave the rest.
Yeah, you need to invest in the back line. Get a poll. A Mexican international would be incredible.
Piszczek, Ochoa, and the guy we just signed. I'd be happy.
Yeah, that's a lot of international spots and a lot of money. So
figure it out, Nelson.
All right, last thing I have on my list, James. If you have anything else you want to talk about,
12 months.
Last thing I want to talk about, kind of a touchy subject. We haven't said anything on our show. We'll talk about it now. Sector Latino. Sector Latino was absolved. I believe is that correct? Dissolved.
Absolved would mean they have no more sins, which would be better.
But yeah, the Chicago Fire dissolved the supporter group Sector Latino. Unfortunate news, and you're seeing the stadium atmosphere suffer from it. Section 8 is also participating in a kind of like a strike.
A boycott of sorts. And then you saw one of these Fire reporters, Jeff Krause, lose his credentials.
Yeah.
Totally.
So not a lot of good.
Totally. I feel like that is such an overstep by the administration, the front office, to remove his credentials for speaking up in support of a group of fans who, for the large majority of them, had done mostly nothing wrong. Yes, there were a couple bad, eggs, so to speak, or people that had made mistakes, and maybe mistakes had been made, but they did punish a whole group for the transgressions of a few, which it's so hard. But here's the thing, to put in perspective, in Italy, if something bad happens in the stands, they have to clear out the whole stadium, and they'll play to an empty stadium.
They'll play empty
stadium. So that's one way to put it in perspective. But still, it seems wrong, and especially when they knew the information. They had information on supposedly the people that were causing problems, and they had the ability to nip this in the bud. But here's the thing: it comes down to both of the groups not communicating fully, and I wonder if there's axes to grind.
I'll say any situation like this, it sucks because nothing really comes out of it but negativity.
The club suffers too.
The club suffers. The players, I really feel for the players that there's no energy in the stadium.
That environment was awful.
The environment has been poor. And we're losing Chicago Fire fans, a fan base that struggling for attendance anyways, and we're relegating those fans. So it sucks. ELE, everybody love everybody. I wish everybody can get along, but hopefully we can get past this as a fan group, and hopefully those fans don't go away. We want to keep those guys around. I mean, there's some great fans, so hopefully something can be done to keep them around, and they don't lose that love for the Chicago Fire. But I get it. That front office can be little crazy.
Overbearing.
Little crazy.
Or maybe making decisions that they don't necessarily have to make.
But I guess it's their club.
But
I don't know.
it's their. I guess it's their club.
So.
But it's our club that we support too.
Yeah,
Right?
it's our club that we support. Yeah,
and we
they can come and go, and we
pay their bills too, right?
And they can come and go, and our club is not going. It's not going.
Exactly. So. They may come and go, but the fans will stay. And especially the organizations and the people behind that. So kudos and shout outs to everybody who's affected by that, because we nobody likes it, and it's not a good thing, and we're really hoping that they can figure something out mutually beneficial in the future. I have one last subject to talk about, because I think you already killed yours, and it was like this, some STHs, some season ticket holders, some fans are kind of bailing on the fire right now.
Sounds like quite a few.
A lot of people are bailing. The viewing numbers are going down a little bit. I think it's more so due to World Cup, but a little exhaustion and a little fatigue of this season, of just this inconsistency. People are fatigued, and it's not just us. Pano's fatigued. I'm seeing this. I mean, he let out a chuckle when they're like, "Oh, what are you going to do?" And he's like, what can I do? I mean, he's like, we've reached this stage of acceptance. Some people are still at that stage of rejection. Some people are still at that stage of struggling. Like, what the heck's going on here? But we're at that acceptance stage, like, oh, I guess this is the best we could do. But we still waffle. We still waffle back and forth to see.
I think the hardest thing about following this team sometimes is just the negativity. There's just that smell of negativity. Everywhere. I mean, with the fan base, the fan base is upset. In the stadium, it's upset. You can see the frustrations on the players. You see the frustration on the coach. I mean, there's just so much frustration going around. And
you could tell
it's just boiling up.
Frustrated GM, how frustrated he is because he has to lie to us every time he opens his mouth.
Positive momentum, But I guess it's just
club of choice.
Yeah, it's just, you're right. It's just fatigue. It's fatigue. I mean, if this team was like Atlanta United, if they were like Atlanta United and it was great football to watch and they're just crushing teams and they're scoring world-class goals, I mean, there would be the energy. But
I just think they need an attractive form of soccer, something more consistent.
Yeah.
And they haven't been playing consistent, evidenced by the result we saw the other day, where it's just basically 3 or 4 mistakes led to 3 or 4 goals against. They don't have but that's soccer. But that's soccer. That's that's the beauty of soccer as well.
Going forward, though, we got to find that energy back. We got to find that positivity back.
Moves are coming.
I still had a great time last game.
Absolutely.
Katai signed. We got the center back. We'll see, and hopefully there's a couple more moves. And we're only a point off from the playoff spot, so who knows? And we still got the U.S.
I want to know what was going on with Pano, about why he was so quiet on the field last game too. I would be interested in seeing why he was so reserved, and he wasn't. He almost never stepped out in the technical area for the coaching. He was almost always within his thing, within the cover of with his team, and we've never seen that from Pano.
I think
I was wondering what that indicates.
Ever since that blow up mid-season, he's been very calm and calculated on the sideline. The game before, I think he kind of blew up. I think the game before he blew up a little bit.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if he had was calculated again. Hey, I gotta be cool. And maybe he knows if he's on the touchline, that's when he starts going crazy. So he had to sit down.
Maybe he's learning some things about himself.
Yeah.
Here's the one thing I got to say about Pano too, real quick. He's been learning. We've seen some growth from Pano.
You know what's so funny though? The best part about with no people being in the stadium, you can really hear Pano.
Yeah.
And I just love hearing Pano go, Alex, Richard, quicker, Richard, Pasti. He never yells anything like constructive. It's just the name of the player. It's like the name of the player. Dax,
Johnny.
And it's always Katai. He's always Katai's probably the name. Alex.
Elliot. That's great though. I love Pano. I'm a big fan of Pano. I think he's been doing better, and he's doing the best he can with the club. But we need to relight that fire under Pano, and we need to relight the fire under the rest of the lads and let them know, hey, we can still do this.
Top-notch players.
We are still here. The fans are still here, and you, the players, and the coach, and the team. You guys are still here. You guys are still in the thick of the hunt. You guys are not out of this by any means whatsoever. If you want to be in it, you're in it. Be in it. You want it. I know you want it. You show it. Let's go. I want it. You want it.
I'm in it.
Let's go. We're in it. Come on. Let's go, lads. Come on. We're rooting for you. All right, fire.
We'll see you guys.
All right, lads. All right, lads and lasses. We'll see you guys later for some more Spitting Fire. All right, have a great one. All right.